everybody, welcome to Lido Fine Art. Today's video is going to be kind of a story time of an experience I had during two of my meditations. So, a little background information. I like to walk in the park to get my steps in, but when I do it, I have to be watching something or listening to a podcast or something because I'm usually bored as fuck. And I can't exercise if I'm bored as fuck. I can't do it. I just can't. I know. Really stupid excuse. I know. I get it. But, so during one of my walks in the park thing, it's like a wooded area kind of with like a trail, a paved trail for bikers and people who want to walk and stuff. And they have like little sections from like the 1800s of where I think where settlers were, and they have a log cabin and they have a statue and all that fancy stuff. So I'm doing my walk and I stumble upon this video on YouTube. I will link it down below. It's about, I guess it's Project Blue Book 1964 of these, I don't know if they're scientists or if they're like Area 51 scientists interviewing this alien, asking them questions like, well, is there a God? How was the universe created? Questions like that. And of course, you know, he's like, you're not going to understand it, can't comprehend it, and you're going to deny what I'm going to say. And of course, he got tortured for saying that, and he got tortured until he started talking. And he basically explained it the best he could and pretty much said how the universe was kind of an accident and it's something that just is, how the life on it like just happened to exist. Same with the other life forms on the other planets. So it's like a 14-minute video or so. But anyway, so it got me thinking, how the fuck did the whole universe get created? How was Earth created? Like, did we just come out of nowhere? Like, how were we created? What, like, I just want to know, okay? And so sometimes when I'm walking in this park, I will kind of do like this meditation thing where I don't focus on anything in particular. I like it to be quiet though, or have some kind of meditative music, and I'll do it while walking. But like, I'll let my mind do its own thing, and I try not to use any outside influences, if that makes any sense. So it's kind of like staring into nothing, but like daydreaming at the same time, if that makes sense. But like meditation, it's like how I I can't talk today. It's how I meditate when I'm awake, and like active. So that's what I did. And when I did this, pretty much the whole area that I was walking, it flipped, and all of the plants that were there were now something else. So before I was in like a wood-like area with some open fields and stuff, to then like back millions of years ago, maybe a billion years ago. I don't know how many millions of years ago. All I can say is it looked like plants from the dinosaur era. Now, I don't know much about dinosaurs or the era that they belong to, but I will put photos of plants as close as to what I saw during this meditation, and I'll put them over here. So yeah, that is what I saw. Very like Jurassic-esque time period, like plant life situation going on. And it was hot, humid, felt kind of like a tropical rainforest, but like hot, almost desert hot, but like not crazy desert hot, if that makes sense. I didn't see any animals at this point during this meditation. I just saw the plants and how it looked like I was kind of in like a rainforest scenario. Okay. So, of course, I'm like, okay, what the fuck? Why am I seeing this? Am I seeing this because I'm trying to picture what it was like a billion or million years ago? Like, what's going on? Why am I seeing this? So, I go forward a few days. I want to say maybe like 5 days. It wasn't a week. So, then during a meditation where I'm in my room, where it's just me, and I'm actually doing, I don't know, a generic meditation, like the old, okay, well, minus this part, but like sitting and eyes closed and stuff. Sometimes I lay down, it helps me go faster. I don't know. All preference, really. So I am actually laying down on my back to get in the zone. And so I am brought to, I guess, the astral realm. And my guide's there. And I ask, I'm like, so when I was in the park, like, what was that about? Like, what's going on? She's like, okay, we're going to answer your question the best we can. But it's really, really, really complicated. So then I am brought to like this, I don't know. It felt like I was one person watching a movie, but like while being in it, if that makes sense. I don't know. So I am, watching this, and I am watching this person talking to a group of younger people, probably between the ages of 16 and like 25-ish. And he's telling them, hey, this mission is extremely important. However, you may die. It's very dangerous. But if you succeed, this will be a pivotal point to our evolution. And I'm just like, oh, what's going on? I don't know. So then they start talking about like, all right, once we get to Mars, and I'm like, Mars? What does this have to do with the question I asked? So I just let it go and just keep watching. So they're talking about colonizing Mars, which is okay, whatever. Cool, keep going. And so how I saw it was in phases. So the settlers or the colonizers go to Mars and create a settlement. They have a dome because I guess oxygen is hard to get on that planet. I don't know anything about Mars, to be honest, but I'm just going along with it. And so their ultimate like mission is to get a jump for Mars, to get Mars to produce similar organisms to Earth. So what they're doing is phase 1, they have to plant a bunch of shit. A bunch of plants, other organisms, to create plants that create like oxygen. So their goal is to create oxygen first. And to do that, they have the dome, and within the dome, they start planting plants to grow, or to see if they can grow plants. So once that place that is inhabited by the settlers is full, then they'll make the dome bigger. And each time they will plant and grow things, they'll just make it bigger and bigger and bigger. To eventually, where they're going to get water, they have their plants, so they got like a whole ecosystem going. And their main goal is to make it where they don't need that dome anymore. And their hope is to, trap the oxygen within the atmosphere, kind of like how Earth's atmosphere is able to hold our oxygen and we can breathe. So that's how they were going to do it. Now they weren't just going to like plan a bunch of shit and then take the lid off and then have everyone maybe die. No, they did like little tests to see if it would work in little areas, which it doesn't make quite sense because I don't know. But so they do this, they get their plants, they get their water. Somehow they're able to transport water to Mars and make an ocean, which I didn't know that was possible, but somehow it's going to be possible that they planted water or created water. And so they let all that expand and essentially put in the microorganisms of like bugs and other animals. And eventually they'll have a whole ecosystem similar to what we have on Earth. But I will say this. It's not something that'll take like 100 years for it to work. No, like it'll take millions of years for it to work. So it's not something that can just be done and then 20 years, boom. No, like it takes a lot of time. And as the time went on, the organisms would evolve into something else, similar how it happened on Earth. So you had like these little organisms that evolved into bigger ones, and then boom, you got the dinosaurs. That similar process was going to be then used on Mars. So I saw the after, what happened once all the plants, once all the like trees, the water, the animals were there, and it looked like the Jurassic period with the dinosaurs, like plant life wise, because they couldn't duplicate a lot of our plants to just go over there, because I guess the ground on Mars, there's properties that make it hard for certain plants to grow, so only certain ones were able to, and then over time they evolved. Same with the organisms. So yeah, then Mars was created like Earth. You had like your continents and your oceans and your animals and all that stuff. And I do remember seeing 3 animals. I'll post the one because it's the closest I could get. It looked like a dinosaur, which that's what this picture looks like. The only difference was, because it wasn't exactly like this, is it was black and it wasn't as long. It was kind of more like compact, but like similar features. And then it fast forwards to like birds flying over the ocean and like these tentacles coming up from the water like a freaking kraken, and then snatching the birds out of the air to eat them. And it looked like a lot of the organisms that were there on Mars were like the organisms that were on Earth millions and billions of years ago. And I know this sounds crazy, and maybe this wasn't, an astral realm experience and was just a weird freaking dream. I don't know. All I can tell you is what I saw. So I go back, and there's people that are very, like, desperate to get to Mars, and they're doing whatever they can to get and live there. I don't know what was going on Earth. Like, I just know people wanted to leave there as soon as possible to get to Mars. But then I go back to my guide, and I'm like, okay, so Mars is going to be colonized? And, I guess, I don't know. She's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, but what does this have to do with everything else that I had been thinking about previously? So I guess what they were trying to explain was that some planets, like Earth, it wasn't that a god created Earth and the things on Earth, like the plants and the animals and stuff, but that colonizers from other planets did something similar to what we did to Mars. They took certain, like, life forms and planted them on Earth, and over time it grew to what it is now through evolution, through plants and animals and other living organisms. It grew to what it is now. Now, I don't know how everything else was created. From what I can tell, is that the universe, it kind of just happened. And as a consequence, you have planets with life forms that evolved and did their own thing. And those planets that didn't have anything were then test subjects for other beings, and pretty much did what they did in this experience, what they did on Mars, is how Earth was created. Like the living organisms and stuff. I don't know. This sounds crazy, and in the back of my mind, I feel crazy. I don't know. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. But that was how it was explained to me. So, yeah. I'm trying to remember more. I know there was more. And when I have these experiences, right when I'm done and I'm snap out of it or whatever, wake up, I will write it down on my phone in my notes. And sometimes when I am fully, like, awake and I go back and read it, I can't fucking read what I wrote because I was so out of it that there's so many errors, so many, like, typos and autocorrections that some of the things I don't even know what the fuck I wrote. And I know there was more, and I can't remember, and it's bothering me. And sometimes when I talk about experiences, sometimes it comes back, or I lose more of it. It's just one of those things. That's frustrating. And I know there's more, and it's bothering me that I can't remember the rest. Yeah, I don't remember the rest. Fuck. But, yeah, so I guess, yeah. That's all I can give you for right now, unfortunately. So, what do you guys think about that explanation? Any thoughts, questions, concerns? Leave them down below. I promise, I'm not high. I do not do drugs, even though I look tired right now. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you guys soon. Peace out.